Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Beautiful deep divers. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody who's diving deep. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Once again, deep divers, I'm back. Oh yes, we're back live streaming. We got a whole lot to talk about. How's your day going, deep divers? What you been up to? Dylan222, thank you. Love to you. Much love to you. Thank you. Once again, deep divers, we're just having fun right now. I'm just, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. I'm sending you tons of good ass energy today, deep divers. Take that, take that, take that. Now, it's over. It's a trap. A lot of you know I already made the viral video, It's Over. But I said, hey, there were a few things I left out, so I said, let me just live stream this whole video in live time so you can see the words that are coming out of my mouth, and we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello? Now, wonderful deep divers, like I say, I'm sending you good energy. It's a trap. What do I mean by this? It's a trap. Right now on the planet, a lot of people are divided over race. Jason, I appreciate that. A lot of people are divided over race. A lot of people are divided in so many ways. There's a lot of instability on the planet right now, a lot of chaos. People don't know what to believe. People don't know what the truth is. And it's not easy right now because let's look at it, deep divers. At the start of 2020, you had a potential World War III, okay? Rest in paradise, Kobe, one of the greatest basketball players, passes away with his daughter. Then you've got the COVID-19. Then you have George Floyd, protesters. So a lot has happened in 2020. But as you know, deep divers, I already told you this was going to happen back in 2019. I was just giving you the heads up. Even the cat down the road got the heads up, deep divers. I told you it's all about to go down in 2020 and more is about to happen. Shout out to everybody diving deep. So I want to remind you, deep divers, let's go back down memory lane because I think a lot of people don't really realize why this is all starting. I told you, what you're seeing before you are symptoms of what's happening. Shout out to everybody in the chat. These are symptoms of what's happening. In 1795, deep divers, you had this chap, Blumenbach, who actually created race. He actually created race. Before this point, there was no concept of what race was. So in 1795, Blumenbach went all around the world and he started to realize, okay, there are 5 distinct races: American, Ethiopian, Mongolian, Malayan, and American. And he literally divided people up into groups. And this is where it all started from. This is where it all started from. You see, deep divers, race is an illusion. And that's why I say it's all a trap. They want to start a race war right now. They want you going against each other. But I told you, race was created in 1795 by Blumenbach. It doesn't exist. When you realize this, you free yourself. Right? Shout out to everybody in the chat. There is no such thing as race. This is the big thing. So a lot of people are getting controlled by, let's just call them the archons, okay? And This is how they control you, deep divers. It's all a trap. They do it by divide and conquer. They put you against each other. And you have to remind yourself, racism is real. Race is an illusion. Racism is an attitude that you feel that you are more superior to someone else because of what you were taught in school, which is the program. Check this out, deep divers. Right now, a lot of people are saying Black Lives Matter, okay? I can't breathe, no racism. A lot of people are protesting out here, deep divers. Some people are even going to the White House. I can't breathe. So, right now, a lot of people are making a lot of noise. A lot of people are starting to speak up, which is cool. But I told you, it's all a trap. What do I mean by this? What do I mean by this? Is that the media only show you what they want you to see. Now, rest in paradise to George Floyd. But I want you to realize there's a reason why this story is so big. Because once again, it goes all the way back to Blumenbach, who created race. Now, they're trying to create a race war. They're trying to put people against each other. And I told you, deep divers, right now, you have to be more unified than ever. A lot of these protests are being funded. People are paid, protesters, crisis actors, all kind of things happening. So, like I told you, there's always a hidden agenda behind what you're seeing in the media. Shout out to everybody diving deep in the chat. I see you. Miles, I appreciate that. Shout out to everybody diving deep. I want to remind you, deep divers, like I always say, it's all a distraction. Everything you're seeing right now is a big distraction. Whether it's this, COVID-19, or whether it's this,
Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. When Black Lives Matter. All lives matter.
you see, the big distraction is you getting away from who you really are. This is the big distraction. And they know that human beings are always distracted. This is how they control you. In fact, this is how they've controlled you for thousands of years. It's easy. It's so easy to control billions of people. It's unbelievable. Even the cat down the road is like, oh my gosh. Because so long as you are distracted, you will always be controlled. So always remind yourself, whenever someone wants your attention, whenever they want you to focus on a news story or something that's happening, that's a distraction because they want you to move outside of yourself. You see, deep divers, what is even more important than protests? What is even more powerful than protesting? Let me show you. This is even more powerful than protesting, deep divers. This is even more powerful than protesting, deep divers. I told you. This is what they don't want you to do. The revolution won't be televised, deep divers. The revolution will be internalized. What? Slow motion this side. Say it again, Ralph. The revolution won't be televised. Okay? That's not where the revolution is going to begin. Protesting, rioting. That's not the revolution. The revolution, let me go back. This is the revolution. Uh-oh. It's that simple. This is what they've been hiding from you. that all the answers you've been searching for lie within yourself. Shout out to everybody diving deep in the chat. We're just live streaming Deep Divers. We're just having fun as usual. I'm just, woo, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. It's a trap, Deep Divers. I want to remind you of this, that I told you that this matrix is crumbling right now. It's on its last legs. It's on its way out. And the only way they can hold on is to put people in fear. Whether it's fearful images in the media, whether it's a fearful virus coming to get you, whether it's be afraid of other people, social distancing, this is the last thing they have to control you. And they've been doing this for a long time. And it works. Thank you very much, narrow-minded. I appreciate that. Lewis, I appreciate you. Let me read Lewis's comment. Let me read Lewis's comment. Hold on, Deep Divers. Lewis says, I created a platform to bring all light beings together. All the profits will be used to bring more positivity to the world. 100% transparency for the people. I need to speak with you. Much love. Thank you for everything. You're an inspiration. I appreciate that, Lewis. DM me on Instagram. Once again, what's the Instagram? @official Ralph Smart. Much love to you, Lewis. So, as I was saying, Deep Divers, we're just warming up. This is how they've been controlling you for years. Fear. Fear is how they've been controlling you for so long, and it works. Why does fear work? Because they know that many human beings are very, very afraid. So this is the trap that you don't want to fall for. You don't want to be led into fear. You don't want to be led into feeling like other people are a threat to you. Right now, you walk outside of your house and what's happening? Everyone's masked up. Mean grill. Don't talk to me. I'm in a bad attitude right now. This is what they want for you and your children. This is the future they want for you. For goodness sakes, Deep Divers. You better say we ain't having this shit. This is the future they want for you. Not just now, but for decades to come. They want you masked up forever so you lose contact with the environment around you. This is what this is all about, Deep Divers. It's all a trap. Now, shout out to everybody in the chat. I want to remind you, Deep Divers, unity is the only way out of this. It is when you realize we are not a race. We are not nationality. We are not politics. Glenn, I appreciate that. We are not religion. We are life itself. And let's just call them archons. The archons know the only way they can rule you is through giving you labels, putting you in fear as well. They always have to distract you. And like I say, Deep Divers, it's all a trap. You have to learn the game of chess. A lot of people are being played right now on the planet like a game of chess. I had a chess teacher, Deep Divers, called Mr. Bardia. He said, Ralph, you always have to think one step ahead. I said, really? He said, yes. He said, life is like a game of chess. I said, okay. CHF, I appreciate that. 555. You got to remind yourself, deep divers, the whole world is a stage. That's what Shakespeare said. The whole world is a stage and we are all actors. Now, I want to remind you, deep divers, a lot of people right now don't like law enforcement. They don't like police officers. In fact, some people say F the police. They're like, hey, F the police, okay? They're out here killing innocent people. I want to remind you one thing, deep divers. This is how the Archons have been ruling over planet Earth for thousands of years. They put you against each other. Tiffany, I appreciate that. Peace and blessings, Ralph. Shout out to Tiffany in the house. Peace and blessings, Ralph. I have been following you since 2016. You are a part of my journey towards self-discovery. I am now walking in my purpose and serving others through my business at La Nirvana Organic. Shout out to you, Tiffany. I appreciate you. One love to you. One love to Tiffany in the house. Deep divers. So, like I told you, a lot of people see police officers as the enemy. And I want to remind you, deep divers, this is how the cabal control human beings. They put you against each other. And once again, it goes back to a lack of knowledge. I want to remind you that the police were created to protect corporations and the government. Police were never ever created to protect you. Police were created to protect the government. Now, if you look at the word government, we have government, which means govern mind. So in other words, the government govern minds of billions of people on the planet. Now, that's why I told you it's a trap from the start, because when you are living in this matrix, a lot of people are under the jurisdiction of a government, and the government is not there to free you. You have to become your own government. You have to become a sovereign being. Oh, baby. And that's how you free yourself. So I want to remind you, the whole system is rigged. The whole system is a trap. We can talk about how a lot of people, wait a minute, thank goodness school is closed, deep divers. Can we get an amen? These schools that so many people went to growing up is the cause of the chaos on the planet right now. They taught you lies and they miseducated you. You see, this is why there's so much problems on the planet, because you were taught in their schools. You were taught his story, which means his story is not yours. What? Slow motion this side. So you have to start re-educating yourself and learning that the government is not there to tell you the truth. The government is there to control your mind. And these archons work in the shadows, the deep state. These are the ones who control everything in this matrix, not your politicians. They're just puppets. So, like I told you, you always have to go to the top. And the more you climb up the pyramid, you start to realize that we are in what we call spiritual warfare. You see, it's a trap, deep divers, living in this matrix, or what I call the conveyor belt lifestyle. They want you just to wake up, go to work, come home, or wake up, stay at home, go to sleep. They want you living in a loop of a perpetual state of slavery. And you have to remind yourself that The reason why they want to do this is because they don't want you to get to this level. They do not want you to get to this level. We call this the fifth dimension. Uh-oh. I don't need 5G. Say it again, Ralph. I don't need 5G because I'm in 5D. This is the fifth dimension, deep divers. And they don't want you here. They do not want you here because when you're here, you become as powerful as them. Even more powerful. The fifth dimension is the love vibration. Is peace, is harmony. When you are here, when you're aligned to who you really are, you can see things for what they really are. You even start to realize you're not just what you were told. You're not just this physical body. You're actually a spiritual being having a human experience. You see, the trap is to keep you distracted, whether it's on social media. A lot of people on the gram right now flexing on the gram. That's a trap. It's all a trap, deep divers. You better not get trapped. You know, I actually had a young girl once say, Ralph, I feel so depressed because my body doesn't look like hers on Instagram. Then I told her, do you know that she photoshopped her entire body? She doesn't even look like that. So these are all part of the traps they have for you in the matrix. Comparing your body to someone else's on Instagram. This is not the natural way. D'Angelo, I appreciate that. I'm serving humanity on my channel. Child Adventures, that's what's up. So I want to remind you, deep divers, there are so many traps. Jewel, I appreciate you. Let me give a shout out to Jewel, right? Jewel is definitely a hardcore deep diver. Jewel, I want to say I appreciate you because anytime I post a video, deep divers, Jewel is always there, right? One love to you, Jewel. So I want to remind you, deep divers, what you are seeing before your eyes is actually an ending. What you are seeing right now is actually the ending of a paradigm. You see, their time is up. Their time is up, deep divers. That's why right now you're seeing so much chaos on the planet. We have to go back to the Mayan calendar, though, because they predicted that December 21st, 2012, the whole world would end. What were the Mayans talking about? The end of the world in 2012. They were talking about a new age on the planet. We call this the age of Aquarius. Now remind yourself, where do they say all people came from? Ethiopia, right? I've been to Ethiopia, ate some delicious injera, 7-day vegan challenge. And when you go to Ethiopia, you really realize, okay, yeah, this is where humanity started. In the Orthodox calendar in Ethiopia, it's actually 2012. What? Slow motion this side. This is one of the oldest calendars on the planet. It's actually 2012. So this is actually the apocalypse right now. People don't even realize it. Jay Lynn, I appreciate you. This is actually the apocalypse right now. So it aligns to the Mayan prophecy of 2012 being the end of the world. And that's why right now there's so much happening so quickly. I want to remind you, deep divers. Carol, I appreciate you. Carol Anderson, shout out to you. I want to remind you, deep divers, all lives matter. All lives matter. Let me repeat this. All lives matter. Absolutely. Black lives matter. Absolutely. Absolutely, Black lives matter. But I told you, deep divers, I told you in a video, right? I've never seen a black person before. What? I've never even seen a white person before. What? Because I told you, there aren't black people on the planet. There aren't white people on the planet. There are only people on the planet. You see, I told you, this is the trap they want you to fall in by labeling yourself. And it all started with Blumenbach, who needed research to justify the slave trade. So he went all around the world in 1795 and he started to separate human beings into races. Before this point, there was no concept of race. So what did he do? He had to kill people and look at their skulls and say, okay, there are 5 races: Caucasian, Mongolian, Malayan, American, Ethiopian. And what he did was he said, okay, certain races are more intelligent than other people. You also have to check out the work bell curve, okay? So it's because of this kind of ideology that the world is in the state it's in right now, because people believe in the supremacy of one over the other, when in actuality, we're all the same. So don't fall for the trap that anybody is more powerful than you are, deep divers. You are the power. Can I get a hello there? Deep divers, we're just having fun right now. Like I told you, deep divers, this is what they don't want you to do. This is the secret. This is the way out, deep divers. You must be love right now. You must tune into who you really are right now. This is how you win. This is how you win, deep divers. This is how you win. This is what they don't want to broadcast on the news. Can you imagine if they just ran a news story, deep divers, just of someone meditating for 24 hours and told you, hey, this is the elixir of life? But what they want is to always, Tom, I appreciate you. The trap is to always feed you bad news. As a psychologist, deep divers, and criminologist, let me tell you this. When you are seeing images, and rest in power to George Floyd, who was murdered by Derek Chauvin, when you are seeing images like that, this is what they want you to see. It's the trap. They want you to see terrible imagery every single day. Even the news, COVID-19, it's all bad news. Because when you are absorbing this into your DNA, this is how you end up. This is what they want for you, deep divers. This is the future they want for you. They want to make you scared. They want to make you paranoid. They want to make you depressed. They want to turn you into an insomniac. And you got to say, hey, we ain't having this anymore. Shout out to everybody diving deep once again. You see, deep divers, one thing I want to tell you is that you don't want to feed into the lower vibration of fear. Fear nothing. You don't want to feed into fear. I told you it's a trap, Hegelian dialectic. You see, a lot of people right now, they're like, hey, Trump is going to save us. And I told you, deep divers, these are the people who control the matrix. These beings control the matrix, not Trump. These are the archons who work in the shadows. You don't see their faces for a reason, deep divers. These are the people who control the matrix. Now, I want to remind you that I told you, anybody who works in the government are employees of the cabal. They have no power. Anybody who works in the government just taking orders from someone in a higher position than themselves. So I want to remind you, it's a trap, deep divers, and this is what happens. When you learn about the Hegelian dialectic, which is problem, reaction, solution, this is how they control your ass every single day. Problem, reaction, solution. Problem. Let's go back to Iraq, right? Problem was weapons of mass destruction. Reactions, oh my gosh, we need to invade Iraq. Solution, well, let's start a war. So I want you to remind yourself, always pay attention to the Hegelian dialectic, which is problem, reaction, solution. They did it with COVID-19, deep divers. Uh-oh. Where's COVID-19 in here? Let me find a COVID-19 slideshow. Okay. Problem, COVID-19. Reaction, oh my gosh, a virus is coming to get me. Solution, you can wear a mask your entire life, and don't worry, I got a vaccination for your ass. So I want to remind you, you have to be aware of what's happening on the planet. I want you to remind yourself, deep divers, don't believe everything that you see in the media, because the media's job is not to inform you about what is going on. The media's job is to distract you from what's really going on. Oh my God. Slow motion this side. So I want you to remind yourself, deep divers, we are the power, okay? We always have been, we always will be. But if you are distracted, that's how you lose your power. So the trap is that you wake up every single day, you know what you have to become, you know where you need to go. But if you are met with a distraction, you're now going to be off your path of where you need to head to. So you have to be aware of these traps, whether it's the tell-eye vision, which tells lies to you visually, whether it's government officials, because I told you, Democrat, Republican, they're all part of the same team. In fact, I told you, they're all employees for the cabal. These are the people with the real power in the matrix. But this is the person with the real power when they go on the journey within. Shout out to all the chosen ones in the house. Have you seen the film The Avatar Deep Divers? I hope you have. Okay, that's what The Avatar was all about. See, I told you, Hollywood do predictive programming. And in the film The Avatar, that's what this was all about. Outsiders coming, destroying the indigenous way of life. And, you know, they're like, we ain't having it. Because if, like I told you, if you look in all cultures, a lot of the indigenous tribes have been wiped out, under threat, rainforest destroyed. And that's what this is all about. There's a spiritual war happening in other dimensions, and you have to wake up to it. But we win in the end. But I want to remind you, that's what this is all about. It's about people who are in tune with the planet, and it's about people who cannot exist on the planet. Let me repeat that. It's about people who are in tune with the planet, and it's about people who cannot exist on the planet. When you can't exist on the planet, deep divers, what happens? scream, your whole life turns into a horror film. So when your whole life turns into a horror film, all you can produce is air. That's all you can give off. And this is what I'm trying to tell you, deep divers. You are dealing with people and entities who cannot exist on this planet. That's why they have to create horror, fear, and lower vibrations. For us, this planet we get on well with this planet, deep divers. We're just vibing with the planet. But some beings cannot exist. They cannot exist. They cannot exist on the planet without war, mayhem, and destroying indigenous populations. This is what this is all about. Now, shout out to everybody in the chat. We will win in the end. Absolutely, deep divers. Like I told you, we will win in the end. In fact, we've already won. All you have to do is get back to the love vibration. I repeat, all you have to do is get back to the love vibration. I repeat, all you have to do is get back to the love vibration. Ever wondered why, deep divers, they don't promote this in the media? Ever wondered why? Because that's a secret. They don't promote what's good for you in the media. I want to remind you of this, deep divers. They want this to be the new normal. They want this to be the new normal. That's why everything you see happening right now is happening the way it's happening. Because they want your children to grow up like this. To have social distancing, not play with other children. Look, deep divers. If you don't do something about this, your children, this is going to be their reality for the rest of their lives. That's why I said, let me just drink some tea, deep divers. Oh yeah, this is some good ass tea. Cheers, deep divers. Today we agree, peace. I appreciate you. Please watch Democracy is Over. Absolutely. You see, democracy, even if you look at the words, is demon crazy. There is no democracy, deep divers, because the government don't want your peace. Government means govern mind. I told you. Govern of the masses. That's what the government are here to do. The government only are here to deceive you, manipulate you, and control you. Now, shout out to everybody in the chat. A lot of people, can you feel like it's over, deep divers? Or am I just tripping? Because I feel like it's over. In fact, I knew it was over already. And everything you're seeing right now is just the aftermath, because this thing has already been burnt down to the ground. Babylon is falling. In fact, it's already fell. Ouch. Yeah, it's fallen already, deep divers. You see, I want to remind you of this, deep divers. You see, a lot of so-called African Americans, they were told they were only slaves and you know, they were part of slavery. But I told you, in this matrix, everything is a big deception. This is not the whole truth of what happened. This is not the whole truth of what happened. But they had to change the history books. See, they won't tell you about this. Uh-oh. They won't tell you about ancient Kemet, which is Egypt. They won't tell you about Sumeria. They won't tell you that we were kings and queens, you see. So I always tell you, deep divers, there's a great book you can read, which is called The Nile Valley Contributions to Civilization by Anthony T. Browder. Let me repeat that. There's a great book which you can read called The Nile Valley Contributions to Civilization by Anthony T. Browder. And that book really opened up my eyes to say, oh my gosh, this is what they've been hiding from me. You see, they didn't tell you were kings and queens. They just told you, hey, you're slaves, right? So I want to remind you, history has been rewritten. Like Napoleon said, history is written by the winners. So you can't trust anything in a library that's government owned. You can't trust anything in the media. You have to do your own research. The moment you go to school, deep divers, it's a trap. They've got the wrong information to program you. And you have to say, hey, we don't want to hear that weak shit no more. We got to say bye-bye to the government, absolutely. But I want to remind you, deep divers, you see, you have to go back to your ancient lineage. You have to go back to your ancient lineage. You have to go back to your ancestors. You have to start realizing you're so much more than what they told you. And that's why you have to start changing the images they are embedding in your mind every single day. The subconscious mind works through imagery. Because you saw the crooked ass cop Derek Chauvin with his knee on George Floyd. But do you know that there are actually a lot of people who beat up the cops? But they will never ever show you those images. Why? Because they don't want you to have that in your mind that is possible. So I told you, you have to be very mindful of the images you see. Make sure you are surrounding yourself with good imagery. Images that actually empower you every single day. This is how to get your ass out of the matrix. You see, one of the best ways, deep divers, to start creating your own imagery is through meditation, is through astral traveling, is through getting out of the 3D through the Merkaba. Mer, vehicle, car, spirit, bar, body. The spirit vehicle, the Merkaba. This is what you got to get into to get your ass out of this dimension. Did you used to watch Stargate Deep Divers? Right? That's what Stargate was all about, that there are portals on this planet. In fact, there was actually a recent article saying that there are actually parallel universes that exist. I told you, deep divers, we aren't the only ones on this planet. But through all of this distraction, you're even forgetting about this. You got to ask yourself, why does Elon Musk want to go to Mars so badly? Because they know that there are other life forms elsewhere. We can leave these human beings to fight amongst themselves. We're out of here. And that's what's coming, deep divers. You see, I want you to watch a film called Elysium, starring Matt Damon. And in that film, the elites basically are trying to get the hell out of planet Earth. And basically, the more money you have, the more you can secure a place to get out of the planet. And I want to remind you, deep divers, that's actually what's happening behind the scenes. They're planning to leave you here in chaos, in war, going against each other, while they head off to Mars and other planets. Deep divers, it's real out here. I want to remind you of this, deep divers. Start imagining, realizing that you are nobility, you are royalty, you are a queen, you are a king, and your entire life will change. You see, this is the image they don't want you to see. This is what they don't want you to become. But you have to become that. You have to create your own reality. You have to put yourself back on the throne. Shout out to everybody in the chat, deep divers. It's a trap and it's over. I want to tell you this, deep divers. You see, If you are feeling depressed right now, deep divers, I feel you. Because let's face it, the vibration on the planet is extremely low. I told you, you are in someone else's horror film. They want you to be like this for the rest of your life. Because this is their horror film. It's Scream. So you have to realize that these beings, they don't know how to do this. They don't know how to be at one with the universe. They don't know how to, let me do it. Let me show you. They don't know how to, breathe in that good ass prana, baby. They don't know how to do that, right? They don't know how to really get grounded in nature. Start breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Just be at peace with everything. The beings, I call them the parasites of the planet. They can only live in fear. And what's happened? They put the bait out and everybody fell for the trap. They're like, hey, if you want to be successful in life, you got to rush. You got to go to work. You got to pay your taxes. You got to pay your bills. They keep you trapped in the matrix. They don't want you to escape. Scott Pierre, I appreciate that. Oh, baby. 1313, what's up? So this is how they get you in the trap, deep divers, by keeping you all packed together, rushing for the same illusion. You want to be famous. You want to make money. And I told you, it's all part of the trap. They know this because they created the game. Now, I was listening to a sister who was like, how can we win? Right? She was saying that, how can we win? And I told you, the only way to win is to stop playing their game. So long as you play their game, you're always going to lose. You're going to lose real bad. Real bad. Because I told you, these damn Archons, they created this game. They're masters of the game. And in their game, they will always win. But the moment, deep divers, the moment you move out of their game, woo! You just do a little roller skating. You just get into nature, just start being free. You're out of their game. So, like I told you, what good is it to gain all the riches in the world only to lose your soul in the process? It's a trap. I've been offered deals, deep divers. Even the cat down the road has. But I told you in that video, celebrities who sold their soul. You see, these beings, they'll give you anything you want in the Matrix. Money, no problem. They print the damn stuff. They'll give you fame, no problem. They can make you as famous as you want to be. And that's why a lot of celebrities are real quiet right now. When they should be speaking up, you won't hear a peep, because I told you, they're already paid for. The cabal already bought their ass up. And if they say anything, they're going to lose everything. So I want to remind you, deep divers, your power is in realizing that you don't have to sacrifice your authenticity just to make it in this world. You can keep it. You don't have to sell your soul just to make it in this world. You can still win being yourself. But they always know there's always people who are scrolling on the gram who are like, hey, one day I want to be Instagram famous. One day I want to be famous on social media. One day I want everybody to look at me. So they know that there's always someone who they can give a good proposition to. But I want to remind you, deep divers, you are good enough. I want to remind you, deep divers, that you are good enough. I want to remind you, deep divers, that you don't need what they have to offer you. You can make it rain on you, deep divers, just by yourself, just by putting out your hands and say, let it rain. Shout out to everybody in the chat, deep divers. You see, I want to remind you of this, deep divers. As I see it like this, okay, we are in a galactic battle right now. And just like in a superhero movie, okay, you have the good guys, the good girls, and the bad guys, right? And the bad women, okay? I'm a superhero, deep diver, so are you. And that's why I told you that you have extreme power. All you have to do is tap into who you really are. That's all you got to do. Open that third eye. Start getting those downloads in, deep divers. Start realizing all of this shit is a joke. You know, life is a meme. And I told you, they want you distracted from your true self. They want you caught up in a race war. But I told you, you have to always think one step ahead. Because this is where it all started with Blumenbach in 1795, who separated people based on race. Race is an illusion. Racism is real. You see, people changed the books after Blumenbach. That's why you have people walking the streets, law enforcement, who walk around with this entitlement of qualified immunity, thinking that they can do whatever they want to the public and nothing is going to happen to them because they feel they are superior to other people. And it all goes back to 1795. So I want to remind you, deep divers, you have to propagating the truth. You are a breath of fresh air, blessings, one love to you, quantum works. So I want to remind you, nobody is born a racist, deep divers. I repeat, nobody is born a racist. In fact, there was actually a father showing his son, okay, it was a white boy. He was looking at pictures of a black and white girl, 4 pictures, different ones. And his father was asking him, what do you see in this first picture? Now, the young boy was like, he was looking at the picture. Then he started to realize they were both smiling in the picture. So he's like, oh, they're smiling in the picture. Oh, they're staring at each other. So that white boy didn't even see race. So what the video was showing people is that nobody is born a racist. What? Slow motion this side. X most highest, I appreciate you. This is my game. Within my game, I have a system. There's a virus. Don't worry about the drama currently going on. That's a trap you'll fall into. Play your own character. Create your own story. Namaste. Absolutely. I told you, deep divers, it's all a stage. The whole world is a stage. And the more you dive deeper, the more you realize that that's how they've been playing your ass for so long. This is how they've been playing your ass for so long, with separating you, dividing you, creating borders and boundaries. And I want to remind you, deep divers, that we are the power. We always were. Don't fall for the bait. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody who's been diving deep. I love all of you. And that's why I'm just saying, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello? Deep divers, like I say, I'm just, woo, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Like I told you, deep divers, You are the power. You always were, and you always will be. To everybody in the chat, I love all of you. And I'll be back again on the Instagram Live, most definitely. I'll be back. Once again, deep divers, if you've got a question, add me on Instagram at official Ralph Smart. Check out the Good Ass Pranic clothes at ralphsmart.com/clothes. Check out the book Feel Alive by Ralph Smart. So, deep divers on Amazon, by the way, I'm sending you all good energy, and I really hope you enjoy this live. I enjoy doing it, and I'll be doing more lives. Vanessa, I appreciate you. Shout out to Vanessa in the house. Let me read what Vanessa said. Hello, Ralph. I was born March 3rd, Pisces. I have a fuchsia plant outside that is dedicated to our friendship. It's cute. We are so cute. You and I, we match. I love you. I love you too. I love all of you deep divers. Like I told you, it's not about me. It's about all of us right now. And I want to remind you, we are more powerful than anybody outside of ourselves. Any media, any government, any politician, you don't want to be looking to them for answers. You want to be looking to yourself for answers. You want to be looking to yourself for answers, deep divers, every single day. Make sure you are looking to yourself for answers. Shout out to everybody diving deep once again. Deep divers, I'm sending you all good energy. I'm sending you all positive energy. Remind yourself, deep divers, we are the power. Every single day, remind yourself, we are the power. Shout out to everybody diving deep. I love everybody in the chat. Let me do the outro. Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. You. So to everybody in the chat, this is the time where I always say, if you've got a question to ask me, let me know. If there's a question you want to ask me, let me know. But like I say, deep divers, shout out to you, Samuel. My teacher only throws out one white belt. He has a belief with enough uses that belt will itself become a black belt. Woo! Let me just read that again. Deep divers, I don't think you heard that one. My teacher only throws out one white belt. He has a belief with enough uses that belt will itself become a black belt. What? Slow motion this side. That was positive right there. That was powerful right there. Deep divers, I love all of you. Have a beautiful day. And like I say, I'll be back on the Instagram Live again. One love to you, deep divers. Peace and love. Let's go.